He has a lot of talents, he has a lot of interests, and he has a lot of enthusiasm.
Well, I think that Roy is very deserving of the De La Salle Award this year. He's really raised the profile and the prestige of the school.
Roy, I don't know where to start. I mean, if you look at the way he has advanced the School of Science, not only for the faculty, but for the students, I think about 4 years ago when Roy first came in and what we didn't have and what we have now. When I first met Roy, he said, I'm not into fundraising, I'm not sure I can do it. And I said, oh my God, this guy will be the perfect fundraiser. And the feather in the cap of Roy Wensley and Dr. Dennis Meese and some others, the ability to acquire a nuclear magnetic resonance spectrometer. It's a high-grade piece of equipment. It's something they would be using if they went to work for a corporation like Genentech. Having the students have the ability to use good equipment as they're getting through the School of Science is just huge.
So he spent a lot of time dedicating the School of Science to really helping the students who often don't survive in science. We got a $2.7 million grant from the Department of Education, and that's to help minority and low-income students who often don't survive the intro science courses. So we've added tutoring, we've looked at some sort of pedagogical changes, how we teach our classes, how we approach students from different backgrounds. But you can't do any of that without the money.
He's extremely cerebral, he's extremely bright, but humble.
He's very passionate about making sure that everyone is involved, and that's from the students to the faculty to the alumni.
Roy is a person that anybody would want as a friend or a colleague because he's a very sincere person about everything he does.
For the first couple of years when he was dean, he still taught a couple of physics classes, which to me just seems crazy. I don't know how he has time to do that. I think it would have been a shame for him to sort of disappear into an office and not be seen by students and not meet with students and things. And I think he feels that way too. You know, he likes the students, he likes getting to spend time with them. He loves science, of course. Okay, yeah, so there is a story about the first time St. Mary's got the internet. So of course there was no IT services back in those days. There were very few computers at all. And those that there were really run by the math and physics and computer science people. So when it came to installing the internet, they had to install wires, you know, they had to link all the computers up, and there was nobody else to do that. So there's definitely recorded evidence of him putting the wires up into the ceiling, but there's also stories of him literally scrambling underneath the building to pass internet wires through as they went from offices to offices and around the campus. Now whether it's true or not, I don't know, but you can ask Roy, he should know, I guess. He's been here a long time. He's won Professor of the Year. He's moved up to being a dean now, but he's never sort of lost that joy of meeting with students, that dedication to St. Mary's and the LaSallian education. Yeah, it's hard to think of anyone more deserving. On behalf of the St. Mary's Alumni Association, it's my honor to award the De La Salle Award to Dean Roy Wensley. Congratulations, Roy.
Obviously, we have to ask the people.
Chris made you.
The people want to know, were you really crawling around under buildings, wiring the internet?
Yes, I actually was. It's hard to believe. I'm looking at, there are faces in here who existed before the internet. So in 1989, when I got here, there was no network. The internet was barely in existence, and it was really used by academic institutions and research places. So when I got here, I was used to using it because I came from some big institutions where email was actually in existence at the time. And so if there wasn't an internet, I had to put it in. And so got a grant from the National Science Foundation in 1991 to bring it to the campus, and then someone had to wire it up. So that's what I did. It was wires back then. Right now it's fiber optics and wireless things.
So you kind of invented the internet at St.
Yes,
Mary's.
Al Gore did not invent the internet, I did.
Thank you.
And these aren't spring chickens, these buildings. It probably wasn't very nice under there.
No, everyone knows if you see the big smokestack over there in the power plant, they call it, if you're driving across campus, the big smokestack, that's what used to heat the buildings, and underneath these buildings are tunnels that the steam or the hot water pipes ran through, and that's where we ran the wire. So,
Well, Chris mentioned in your video that at least for a while when you became dean, you were still teaching classes. So that made me wonder, what was the hardest transition for you to go from the classroom to dean? Was it the interaction with students?
Yeah, that was, I really like working with students and teaching students, and so that was probably the toughest thing to at least minimize. I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
I still have an advising cohort this year, and I think next year I'll be teaching a course. So I can't give that up because it's something that means a lot to me.
And on the face, there also seems to be a tension or something inconsistent about a liberal arts college and the sciences. How has it impacted your experiences in the sciences, teaching at a liberal arts college and being a dean here?
Well, that's one of the things that drew me to this place at first was the liberal arts nature of the college. So let me also dispel a myth. The liberal arts actually includes the sciences. So when you hear the words liberal arts, sciences are in there. Physics, mathematics, biology, those are included. But when we think of the liberal arts education, we think of a broad education, which is what was important to me. So the collegiate seminar program we have here was really, when I learned about it coming from my interview, it excited me. And I'm like, I'm going to actually get an education when I come here doing that, so I got to do that. And it's still, I think, one of those components of the institution that is really important for science majors to experience.
All right, 30 years at St. Mary's.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to choose one, but tell us a memory that just excites you, a goosebump moment, something that happened at St. Mary's that you look back on fondly.
It really didn't happen. I mean, there's many. I could think of a ton. But the things that come most to mind didn't actually happen here, but they happened with St. Mary's students. There are a couple pictures up there I saw of the travel courses in January. And those are probably the things when I think about incredible experiences, at those places, traveling to different coral reefs around the world and taking students to them.
Yeah, you're in that picture with scuba diving.
Yeah, I was in the middle of that group. Yeah.
That's great. Anything else you'd like to share with us today, Roy?
So, just quickly, I'll say there's probably a couple people out here. I know there's a couple out here that I taught when I was here, alumni. And speaking, I just want to say something to the alumni. One of the things that is tough to do as a faculty member or an administrator here is understand day to day what it is you're doing and how it's making an impact. It's hard to kind of, I guess, sit back and reflect. And when I get to talk to students who come back, alumni who come back, or I get an email from them, that's really important. It really helps me understand that what we're doing means a lot and has an impact. So all of you out there, I want you to think of a faculty member, a staff member that you interacted with here at St. Mary's that you haven't talked to in a while. Send them an email and tell them how much you appreciated them, because that will help.
Great. Thank you, Roy.
Yeah.